Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is The Nightmare Room Shadow Girl. This is the 8th book in the Nightmare Room series by R.L. Stine. Now there is a little bit of violence, a sprinkle of criminality, and superpowers, and the secrets and shit in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, so the publisher of this is, I think maybe this one, Avon? I'm not sure, maybe it's this. I'll try to look it up and see if I find out. Hey, I'll just leave it here if I find out. If not, then not. We'll see. Alright, just a second. Yeah, so there we go. I'll try to remember to include the publishers. Alright. So this is the first book I've read in the Nightmare Room series. I think up till now it has, I think, 10 books, maybe? Yeah, before I saw this one, I've never read anything else by R.L. Stine besides his Goosebumps series. And even then, I haven't read that many books of that series. But I bought this from my friend Leor, and it looked cool, so I thought I'd read it. So now, I don't know how the rest of the books are. It is different than Goosebumps, but now I don't know if it's right to say. I won't say if it follows the same formula because this is the only one I read, so I can't be sure of that. But yeah. Okay, so let's start with the plot. So we have this young girl. The child is the normal age for Goosebumps. They're normally between 10 to 12. Prepubescent kids, normally. So Selena's 12, and her mom is sending her to live with her aunt and uncle and her cousin Jada. Did I mention that? Did I say her name is Selena? I think I did. I'm sorry, it's already... Fuck. I'm sorry, it's already late. My brain's not functioning. Lassie, do you want to help or chew my books? I'm definitely gonna have to age restrict this video. Lassie, are you destroying anything in there? Why do you love eating plastic? I'm not restarting this video. Let's continue. Where was I? Right, so she's being sent to live for a month with her aunt and uncle. For some reason, she doesn't know why. She says, goodbye to her friend. She has one friend, her name is Beth. And for some reason, Beth is acting a bit weird. She says, it was going to make me laugh. Selena said she never laughs at my jokes. And then when her mom takes her to the bus station to go to Chicago, she is very emotional. She's hugging her. And she says, I left you a letter, which is very weird. I mean, Selena's not going away forever. Or is she? Ooh. So Selena gets to her aunt and uncle. Before all this, Selena's complaining about Jade, her cousin, who's, well, really essentially a major bitch. Now, I don't know if it's allowed to say that about a 12-year-old, but fuck it. I'll probably age restrict this video anyway. And she's fictional, so double fuck it. So yeah, she's a major bitch. She's always been a bitch to Selena, ever since they first met when they were little girls. So she's weary about going there, obviously. But yeah, she gets there by herself, and she goes in and she meets Jada again. And yeah, as it turns out, Jada is still just as much as a bitch as she was back then. All those years ago, Selena meets Jada's friend, Stan. And that's it. Throughout her time there, which is like, how long is she there? Probably a week, maybe, over for the whole story. So yeah, Jada's being the major bitch to her. She's playing cruel tricks on her, like on her first day in school, she tricks her into wearing the colors of the opposing basketball team, was it? So everyone boos poor Selena, and she runs home and crying, but then she has to go back to school because her aunt's at work. And then she also tells her a wrong page to study for a math test, a wrong chapter. Basically, she's being a major bitch towards her. For some reason, Selena cannot contact her mother or Beth. I mean, she does manage to call Beth, but Beth tells her, they told me we can't talk or they'll hurt everyone, my family. She can't reach her aunt, she can't reach her mother, she can't understand why Jada hates her so much. And yeah, you can get behind, maybe kids being mean to each other, but shit in hell, son. Yeah, it all boils down to, as it turns out, Jada, Selena, and her aunt Janet are not human. They're from a different dimension. And Selena is inheriting the powers of Shadow Girl, like here on the cover. And now Selena does not want to be a superhero. Really doesn't. Just after she does superhero stuff, or she's about to vomit her guts out, like really terrible shit. But then her aunt and Jada, Jada tells her, you have to come and save me, not long after she discovers there's a secret room on the end of the hallway on the second floor, because during her time there, she sees that Jada sneaks out every night. And she asks Stan to help her go in and look in that room. And she finds the costume of Shadow Girl. So, like a day after that, Jada asks her to come and rescue her in this house, and that's where she meets Jade in the costume of the Red Raven. She's her arch enemy and all that. And then her aunt also appears there and tells her everything. And there's a prophecy in this big black book that she has to be Shadow Girl, and she and Jada she has to kill Jada. She has to kill Red Raven. It's all a prophecy and it must be done. And after that, Jada's been pushing her all this time to toughen her up, to get her to be a superhero. And now we understand why she hated her so much. Well, not really, because I don't get it. Like, it's not like Selena knew and was dangling this in front of Jada, like, I'm gonna be Shadow Girl and you won't. Like, I get that, her playing such cruel tricks on her she didn't know, but shit. Selena has no idea. What? Like, come on, people. You have to tell a child such a thing. No, I'm just gonna thrust you in there. Handle yourself. Well, how? I mean, there's no justifiable reason for Jada to hate her, at first. But even after you find out, it's like, come on, Jada, relax. It's not like, Selena's not dangling in front of her, rubbing it in her face, like, I'm going to be a Shadow Girl. Like, I get her being this mean to her if it was like that, but, and she was born bitchy. Anyway. Then Selena, she's all alone. She can't talk to Beth. She can't reach her mother. Also, when she calls to try to get her mother at work, she finds out that her mother's name isn't in the company. Selena's dad is dead, by the way. Not that it's really an important detail, I suppose, but just so you know. So Selena decides, I'll go talk to Stan. I need someone to talk to. Maybe I can talk to Stan. So she goes to Stan's neighborhood. He lives in a very poor neighborhood. which is hilarious, and a detail I'll get to later, but he's like poor. He lives in this rundown house. His mom works a late shift, his dad works 2 jobs, but the kid's plugging in a computer and has a, like, earlier he invites Jada to check out his new CD player. And I was like, wait, he's poor, but he has money for a CD player? Yeah? Yeah, because I assume they're all 12. Okay. Yeah, so she goes to where he lives, and then she realizes she can't talk to him about this because he has no idea, about Jada and everything. Which, yeah, I mean, Jada wouldn't tell him. So Selena leaves, but on the way out, he lives near this gas station. She sees that these 4 boys are beating this other boy. She yells at them, then they run towards her to hit her, but she runs, but then she falls, but then an SUV goes by and scares off the boys. Selena gets angry and upset. She runs back to the house, grabs the costume and pendant. There's also a pendant. And then she's like, I'm not gonna stand for this. She finds the boy that was beaten up. He's still alive. He's okay. Bruised, bleeding, but he'll live. She helps him. Then they come back. And they come back with baseball bats. And it looks like they're about to kill her. But no, she manages to overpower them. She suddenly gets super strength. Ooh. Before that, she flew. Way before that. And, so that's it. She's like, it's exhilarating. Oh, look at this power. Then she starts to feel sick. Yeah, this one doesn't have a strong stomach, let me tell you. So she goes back home. She doesn't want to do any of this. She wakes up Jada and tells her. Jada says, you have to. It's your destiny. Then the next night, Jada tells her, you have to go try out your powers. She locks her in the secret room, so Selena has to go throughout the window. She tries out her powers, but they don't seem to work. She's trying to use super strength or see if she has super speed or x-ray vision. And she decides to see if she can fly again because she already flew. So she goes on top of a church and just falls down. It's on top of a hill. And she's like, oh no, I'm about to fall, but then she flies. And then she realizes she just has to wish for her powers. That's how she got them. When the boys were on her, she wished for super strength, and before that so now she just had to wish for it. She wished to fly. And then, so she flies, and she goes, again, stomach turns, and she goes back home. Before she gets straight to the house, Jada corners her as the Red Raven. And then these 2 young girls almost get killed by a car. And Jada saves them. And sorry, not Jada. Selena saves them. And Jada tells her, look, you saved 2 lives. How do you feel about it? You're like, I feel awful. Seriously? I mean, okay, I get it. You don't want to be a superhero, but you feel awful? You saved these 2 girls? Dude. Anyway, Jada's like, I won't let you quit. You will be, you have to be Shadow Girl. Then they start fighting, and Selena doesn't want this. And they're fighting in the air. They're both flying, because Jada's pendant for the Red Raven also works. And as they're fighting in the air, Selena realizes what she has to do. She has to do what the prophecy said. She has to kill the Red Raven. So she grabs Jada's pendant and smashes it. And that's it, I killed her. And then we move on to the conclusion where, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, there's a burglar going around by the name of Blue Weasel, and he steals things from houses. So now in the conclusion, Jada is now Shadow Girl. Because Selena killed Red Raven, took the pendant, so now she can give her Shadow Girl pendant to Jada. That's it. So we find out, not shockingly at all, that Stan is the Blue Weasel. Which, yeah, if you went back to it, it makes sense. Like, how does he have all this stuff, but he's really poor? Where does he get the money for it? Like, if his parents, they had extra money, they probably put it into moving to a better neighborhood instead of continuing to live there. I mean, instead of, buying Stan all this expensive shit. So, Jada just escorts him out of the house after telling him, I knew it was you, Stan. Obviously, he doesn't recognize it's Jada. And she, I assume, takes him to the police station. It's not mentioned. I mean, I guess they could put him in juvie. Then she goes back to the secret room. Selena's waiting for her there, and they talk about how Selena apologizes. I'm sorry that it took me so long to figure out what to do. And Jada's like, it's okay, you had to figure it out on your own. And I'm like, why isn't Jada apologizing for being a major bitch? I mean, we don't get that? Come on, man. At least say, oh, I'm sorry, Selena. I guess that doesn't matter. And they finally have a real hug. Okay. And that's it. Towards the end, Selena goes back home. Her aunt, her mom's sister, I guess didn't feel the need to tell her, hey, I'm sending your daughter home. She's no longer Shadow Girl. You can get her back. Like, because she comes in and mom's so shocked, she drops the whole tray of glasses. And then they hug and they cry, and Selena thinks her mom might be a bit disappointed that she's not Shadow Girl. And then Selena runs down, up the stairs to go call Beth to tell her that she's back and they can be friends again. But on her way to her room, she passes by her mom's room and she sees something weird on the bed. She approaches it and tum, it's a costume. Her mom's a superhero too. And that's it, that's where it ends. Okay, which would explain why the phone company, when she called them, why they couldn't see that her mom was working. As her mom works at night, supposedly, but no, it looks like she's been doing superhero stuff during the nights. And that's it. That's where it ends. And I'm a bit disappointed in this one. Like, from the description and everything, I thought this would be cooler. And I guess I was expecting it to be more Goosebumps-like. Where there's a bit of horror in there. And what I was imagining when I read the description was Selena gets trapped in this nightmare room. And that has to become Shadow Girl. Or it's something that the nightmare room turns her into. And so now she has to... And she's taken to a different dimension. That's what I imagined. What I got was, lackluster. Again, this is a short story, and I'm sure in other Goosebumps books there's details we don't get into. Obviously, I mean, it's for kids, I suppose, but still. Like, it seems like Jada just wants to be a superhero for the sake of being a superhero, for instance. Because she wants to be Shadow Girl, but she doesn't say, I want to help people, or I'll do a better job saving people. Like, granted, yeah, she's better at superhero stuff than Selena will be. But still, like, so you just want to be Shadow Girl. You don't want to save people, really. You just want the powers and to be Shadow Girl. Doesn't seem like such a good motivation for a superhero. And I mean, I get it, Selena's supposed to not want this, but man, she comes up as really wimpy. Not to mention the whole just vomiting after saving someone. Granted, I don't know, maybe it's a side effect of the pendant, but still. It's just, I think this would have been better if this book was longer and it had more details in it, like, what dimension did they come from? How did they arrange all this? Is there... will Selena's child or Jada's child in the future, if they have any, will they also have some pendants and powers? How the hell does her mom make money if she's a superhero at night? No, seriously, how? Like, if she does superhero stuff and she doesn't work, how do they have money? And like, can you decide to retire? Because her aunt retired. She was the Grey Dove, I think. No, not Dove. I don't know. She was Grey something. So why couldn't just Selena decide to retire too? Is in the Book of Fate for her aunt to retire? I don't know. I mean, I get it. In some superhero stories, all of this just falls on the hero, and they are at times reluctant to be the hero. But like this is, I guess this is more to a really wimpier extent, and it's just not what you imagine when you think of superheroes. And again, I didn't think Selena was a sort of superhero. I thought it would be more like it's some sort of a curse from this nightmare room. So maybe that's why I was expecting something a little different, and I got this. Well, not a little different, a lot different. And then I got this, and it's just, it's not particularly, cool, or what I'm used to as a reader of comics. And again, Jada, and that's a bit unrealistic. Like, I get it, kids can be right down mean to each other, but fuck. Like, Selena's mean to, like, an amazing extent. Not Selena. Jada's mean to Selena on, some high level. And again, for no really good reason. Okay, yes, people can be mean for no good reason, granted. But, like, girl, how are you going to toughen her up to something that she doesn't even know she's supposed to do? And if it's in your family, why couldn't you just tell her to begin with? Why couldn't her mom just prepare her for this? Another thing I didn't understand is, why did her mom have to send her away completely? Like, why? She couldn't send her to... Did she have to, like, protect Chicago as a shadow girl? Is that it? Couldn't she just, I don't know, drive occasionally to see her mom? Or couldn't her mom just move to Chicago? Again, I get it. Maybe these details don't matter. It is a short story. But I think if this was long and more detailed, it would have been way better. Because this is just a lot of unanswered questions and not so clear motivations. Also, this dimension thing's interesting. Does that mean Selena's not human? What superhero is her mom? Because she has a red costume. I can say she's not a Red Raven, though, right? Because the Red Raven was killed. I don't know. Like I said, as a superhero story, it's pretty lame. And it's not really even that scary as well. Like, yeah, I get it. There's the gangs and stuff. Those boys. But even then, it's not... that terrifying, and it's obvious Selena's not really going to kill her. She grabs the pen, and I guess she grabbed Jada, because Jada didn't plummet to the ground. But yeah, essentially I was pretty disappointed. It just goes to show you, when I got this book, I thought, what, I'm gonna like this, and I ended up not really liking this that much. So yeah, I won't be keeping this book. I thought I would. And don't get me wrong, the cover's fucking awesome. But it's not as cool as... the inside's not as cool as what the cover shows, essentially. So yeah, but... it was disappointing. Like, this looks so much like Raven. And this girl's, like, obviously nothing like Raven. But it's the fact that the costume reminds of her is... makes me, a bit annoyed. You can't hold a candle to Raven, Selena. Neither can you, Jada. Well, you don't have the same powers, granted, but still. Disappointing. Yeah, we'll see how the other books in the Nightmare Room series are. Like in the Goosebumps, they're not related to each other. It's just stories in the same series. And they're all different. So we'll see. I wonder what's like I guess the commonality in all of them is the room part. There's got to be some kind of room somewhere that holds the whatever it is. In this case, the secret room held the costume and the pendant for Selena, and like a secret way out of the house as well. That way, Jada could sneak. I wonder what Jada was doing when she snuck out all those nights. Was she, I don't know, practicing being a Red Raven? Maybe. I wonder if R.L. Stine ever read Raven in the comics. I wonder if that's what kind of inspired it. Because, there's the whole night thing. Well, and another thing I'd like to mention, the lameness of the powers. Because, at first, I was wondering what really fueled the powers. And I thought that maybe it was darkness. Because Selena had her aunt and Jada had to confront her about this in a moonless night. So it made me think, maybe it's like before when I started reading the book, I thought, maybe the shadows in the night give her powers. That's what fuels them. But nah, she just has to wish for stuff and it happens. Okay, if she wished to turn into a dragon, you think she would? Or is that out of the... Like, what are the limitations? What can she wish for? If she gets injured, I wonder if she could have wished for herself to be healed. She sprints her... or twists her ankle, and I wonder if she could just... I wish for my ankle to heal. Would that help? Would that work? Like, you see, it's kind of lame. Just essentially like a genie that can grant wishes only for himself. And wears a cape. Yeah. Now that I think about it, they mentioned that she's wearing the shirt. Or was it just the tights? I can't remember. Well, that doesn't matter. I've been blabbering long enough as it is. But yeah, okay, we'll see how I have a few, I think maybe 2 more books in the series. We'll see how they are. Maybe those will be better than this one, because this one was, meh. Yeah, it was a meh. I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. We'll see how the rest of them are, but if you like R.L. Stine's writing, and I think you might like this. Again, I didn't find it to be scary or, even that exciting, so I don't know. But yeah, if you like his writing, maybe you'll like this one. And maybe you read the Nightmare Room series and you do like this. So yeah, that's it. Let me know down below. Have you read this one? Have you read this particular series? What do you think about it? And that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. And also, kids can be downright mean. Bye!